Hi there again, Izzy from DigitalGoja.com showrooms. And today we're going to take a look at how to work with our new Nikon D5500 and the Altura Photo wireless flash trigger set for Nikon. This is going to work as a wireless flash system for your Altura or any other flash that you happen to own. Plus, it also has a remote shutter release so that you can also control your Nikon D5500 from a distance. If this video helps you out, remember to hit me up with a like button underneath, and as always, subscribe to our channel for future unboxing sessions and tutorials such as this. And don't forget, when in Miami, come visit me at DigitalGoja.com showrooms. All right, so first things first. This is our receiver, and this is our transmitter. Now, what we want to do is we want to place the batteries in here. So first, I'm going to start with the transmitter. There's only a little button, and you're going to open up the back of it. And notice that you have room here for a 12-volt battery, and Altura actually provides it. It's what is called a 23A, very funky battery, 12 volt. Just place it in there following the instructions on the panel of your polarity. And notice these little toggle switches. Yeah, those guys right there. Keep those in that direction for now. You only want to mess with those if you're in a situation where you're working with another photographer and they have also a wireless trigger set. You don't want to work on the same channels because you'll set off each other's equipment. And we're going to close this up and put this to the side. Now we're going to work with this guy, which is the receiver. Again, open up the back, and there is your guide for your polarities, and it works with two AAA batteries. And again, Altura provides those. Always making sure you place these the way that it is recommended, because you don't want to short this out and you want it to work for you. And there are those little toggles. Again, leave those all facing the same way. And let's close this guy up. And to test it out, let's put it to flash. Notice how it lights up. That means that it's getting power. And with this button on here, you can try it out and see that it's making a connection. See how they blink? That means they are connecting to each other and they're getting the proper signal. So now we're going to set up our camera for flash photography. Now, these guys do not transmit any TTL information. So what does that mean? That means you have to work on manual with your Nikon D5500. Yes, I know, it sounds difficult, but it really isn't. Because remember, we're still working with digital. So we're first going to set up our camera, and we're going to pick a shutter speed. I like 1/60th of a second. You can go all the way down to 60th of a second, or all the way up to 1/200th of a second. I just happen to work well with 1/60th of a second. And then you're going to change your aperture depending on how far you are from the subject matter. So I'm going to be working at about, let's say 8 feet. So I'm going to try to set it to f8, and I'm going to work with ISO 200. So the camera is set. Now, we're going to place this guy, which is the transmitter, right on the hot shoe. And as always, when we do this, it goes straight. You don't want to move this side to side because you don't want to damage the hot shoe. And just tighten this up enough so that it doesn't fall off. You don't want to over tighten this because you don't want to have the issue later on of this being stripped. So just enough there. That's set to go now. Now the next step is we have to get our flash. Let's remove it from the little flash stand holder that it has. And on the flash stand holder, I'm now going to set my Altura trigger receiver. Now, you can also attach this directly to a light stand or to a tripod, because notice how it comes with the 1/4" thread. But I wanted to take advantage of this. So again, straight on, tying just enough so it doesn't fall off. And now we're going to mount the Altura flash. And you do the same thing. This goes straight on. You don't want to move it side to side. And just tight enough so that it doesn't fall off. Now we have to prepare the flash. Activate it. And again, no TTL, so we want to go to manual, and at this distance I'm going to change it to about 1/8 power. There we go. And now this is no longer line of sight, so you can put this wherever you want. I mean, it could be on the floor over there if you want. Again, this works at about 100 or so feet, so you don't have to worry about it being line of sight with your camera. It could be hidden. And then what we want to do is turn on the camera. Very important step. Notice how you have 3 settings. Don't forget that. Switch it to flash. Boom. That triggered it because now it's set to receive the signal from our transmitter. And you can test it out by pressing the button, and notice how the flash fires off. But now I can go ahead and do the same thing, and when I fire, notice how the flash is firing whenever I press my shutter. And again, I can be all the way on the other side of the digital Goja showroom, and I can still control my flash wirelessly. Now, the next step we're going to do is how to control the camera remotely with this cable right here. This is the cable that you need. It comes with many other cables in there, but this is the one that you need because, and you'll notice that this is the one for your camera because it has this little coily feature. All the other ones are straight cables. And what are those for? They're mostly meant for studio strobes and older style studio lighting equipment that you can still control with the Altura Photo wireless flash trigger set. But for now, we're going to take a look at how to control the camera. So we're going to turn off the camera, remove the trigger, because now this guy is going to be in our hand. This is the one that we're going to use to control the camera. Going to turn off our flash, remove it from here, and remove this guy. And now this one is going to go on the hot shoe. And again, as always, just tight enough so that it doesn't fall off. All right, so now that we have the receiver on the shoe, we're going to get our connector cable, and we're going to look for the connection on our camera right here on the side. Notice that little port right there. It lives right there. We're going to place this guy right in there. There you go. That's the way it goes in. And notice that it shows you on the side that it is a port for a trigger. And now this section, which is an 1/8 inch plug, plugs in on the side of your receiver. So it plugs in like so. And now we're going to switch this, instead of to flash, we're going to move it over to camera. All right, so now that we have it all set up, you can set it to any of the corresponding modes, but the one mode that you want to make sure is, if you set it to this auto mode, you want to have enough light, because if not, it's going to try to pop up the flash. It's going to get hindered by the receiver that we have here. So if you still want it on very auto, but you don't want to make any decision, but you don't want the flash to pop up, make sure you set it to this mode right here. That's the no flash mode. So what happens now is that the camera's being told you cannot pop up the automatic flash and give me the correct exposure, but it'll bump up the ISO. And now the camera is a nice steady surface. And there we go. I'm going to fire it off here. And there we go. You can do this at any distance. You can even have it on continuous shooting. The beauty of it is that this is meant so that you can go ahead and control your camera from a distance. The only thing that it does not do is it won't activate your video, because remember, on Nikon you have to press this little red button for video. So it will not activate your video option, but it will allow you to do many stills and control it from a distance with the trigger. So again, this is a fantastic feature where you want to do any kind of selfie, or even if you're doing wildlife or sports photography and you want your camera set at a certain distance. Again, you can be up to, I've worked with it as much as 110 feet away, and it works perfectly. Happy shooting.